How's it going, guys? Today I got something a little interesting planned. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be giving my honest opinion on every single Five Nights at Freddy's game and putting them on a tier list. So not much else I gotta explain. Pretty straightforward. Just know that this is my personal opinion, and if you disagree with my opinion, then you're just objectively wrong. So with that getting out of the way, let's get started. FNAF 1. I'm gonna try and not look at these games and not have nostalgia be like a bias towards anything. I'm just gonna focus objectively, is the game good or not? Looking at it now, FNAF 1 isn't the most impressive out of all of the games. I mean, it definitely was when it first came out. It was one of the first horror games in the style that it is, and obviously it was a huge pioneer in horror games in general. Looking at it with today's standards, I think I'll probably give it a C. It's definitely one of the scarier FNAF games just because it has really good atmosphere, but the nights are just way too long. 9 minutes is just, it gets really boring, and it's not super duper difficult if you know what you're doing. So I'm just gonna give it a C. It's alright, I guess. Might move it to B, but we'll see how everything else stacks up. FNAF 2, I'm gonna give an A. FNAF 2 was one of the first FNAF games that I really played a lot, because I really wanted to do 1020 on mobile, and I did. I was one of the first people to do that. I mean, I don't have any evidence of that, but you just gotta trust me, alright? But I really like FNAF 2. The max mode is a little bit annoying because it's kind of RNG reliant, but just looking at the first 6 nights, really, it's really good. It does a good job of being intense, I guess, because there's so much action. It's not the scariest, so that's why it's not up an S, but it's pretty fun, except the max mode does get a little annoying. But yeah, FNAF 2, first FNAF game that I really got into when it came out. I think it deserves to be in the A tier. Alright, now we got our first F tier, FNAF 3. I don't know, FNAF, I'm gonna move it in D, actually. FNAF 3 is frustrating because the first 6 nights, or really the first 5 nights, are really good. I love the secret mini games, the lore, the gameplay is pretty fun for the most part. Not the scariest, but it does a good job of keeping you on your toes and staying focused. But once you get to night 6 and Aggressive Nightmare, Springtrap just moves so unbelievably fast that it just feels so luck reliant, and doing the max mode is incredibly infuriating. It's definitely the most mad I've gotten playing a FNAF game. Only thing that's keeping it out of F is the first 5 nights are fun, and the lore is really interesting, and I like that aspect a lot. But yeah, that's FNAF 3. I don't know, it's unique gameplay-wise compared to the other ones because you only have one threat that can kill you, but it's frustrating when you get to the harder nights. Alright, next we have FNAF 4. I don't actually know where I'm gonna put this. It's FNAF 4, easily the scariest of all the FNAF games. If I was ranking these based on how scary they were, this would be way at the top. I don't know what it is about the game, but it's just so scary for me. I really like the atmosphere that it has. The lore is interesting, although confusing at times. The gameplay, a little dry, because you kind of just do the same thing over and over again, but thankfully the nights aren't super long. I really like night 5, when you have to deal with Golden Freddy. I like that aspect of the FNAF 4 gameplay a lot more than I like the other aspects, just because A, it's a lot less scary, and I don't know, it's just a little easier to keep track of everything once you know what you're doing. But I think I'll give FNAF 4 an A, but not as good as FNAF 2. Still pretty good though, I liked it a lot. FNAF World. See, I don't know about FNAF World. I've played FNAF World a lot. It's definitely one of the FNAF games I've played the most, just because, I don't know, it's fun to play every now and then. While the base part is pretty enjoyable, on a first playthrough, it's a little annoying having to navigate through all the glitch worlds and all that. Character grinding is absolutely horrible, and then you gotta know a bunch of really intricate details on how to get every single character chip and bytes and all that stuff. And some of the mini games in the Halloween area to get the Halloween characters are not fun. I don't know, I'll give it a B because I do think it's fun. It's just a lot different than every other FNAF game, so it's hard to compare, but I think I'll give it a B. It's fun. It's just a little annoying to 100%. Sister Location. I don't know about Sister Location. Because, like, Sister Location, like FNAF World, it's very different from the other FNAF games. Just because, or at least very different from all the FNAF games up to that point. Just because, you know, it's like semi-free roam. The nights are different than the other games, but I like the lore in it. It's decently straightforward, I guess. I don't know, but it's hard to talk about FNAF lore and straightforward in the same sentence. The gameplay, I don't know, it can get a little dry. It's fun on like a first playthrough, but playing it over and over again isn't the most enjoyable. Night 4 kind of sucks, but I really like everything else about it, so I think I'll give it a B, but not as good as FNAF World. Sister Location Custom Night. This is gonna be my first S. I love Sister Location Custom Night, and yes, I'm doing them as two different ones, because that's just how the tier list was. Sister Location Custom Night is so damn fun. Like, I love doing the max mode. It's definitely my favorite max mode out of all the FNAF games, just because it's 100% skill based and not RNG reliant at all, and it's very fast paced, and I don't know, I just really enjoy the max mode. So it's gonna get the first S tier just because it's so fun to play. Like, it's not that scary. It can get a little stressful, like especially when you're at the end of Very Hard Golden Freddy. Like, once you hit 5 a.m., that's very stressful, and I've folded under that stress multiple times while trying to beat Very Hard Golden Freddy. But yeah, first S tier. I love Sister Location Custom Night. Pizza Sim, I don't know. I really don't know about Pizza Sim. I think I'll put it in C, but not as good as FNAF 1, just because I don't get how the nights work at all. And if I ever try and do playthroughs of it where, like, you know, I salvage the animatronics and I have to deal with them as threats during the nights, it's like, I don't understand how they work at all, and, you know, that you think that wouldn't be an issue, but then you realize that, you know, I don't know how the nights work, and the game's been out since, like, I don't know, 2018? When did it come out? 2017. Jesus, game came out 7 years ago? What? Okay, that's besides the point. Yeah, I still just don't know how the nights work at all, but like playing all the mini games and like going for the certificates that don't require you to like salvage animatronics and have to deal with them during nights, they're pretty fun. I like the mini games. So that aspect would give it a B, but night aspects would give it a D, so I'm just gonna even it out and call it a low C tier. UCN. UCN is interesting because it seems really fun if you're good at it, but I was never very good at it. I've tried to beat 50-20 on multiple occasions. It's just too hard for me, but UCN's cool. It's a really interesting concept because you have to deal with 50 animatronics. Well, more than 50, but you know what I mean. You have 50 main threats, and it's very cool how, like, when you're doing 50-20 and you know what to do, how everything just like clicks together. I think that's really cool, but it's just a little annoying to play and a little RNG reliant. I think I'll give this one a C, but I'll put it in between FNAF 1 and Pizza Sim. I'm gonna put it above FNAF 1. Okay, Help Wanted 1. Help Wanted 1 I haven't played a ton of, at least in VR. Yeah, I haven't played FNAF Help Wanted 1 a ton in VR, but I did 100% it on Nintendo Switch like a billion years ago when that came out. This one is... I don't think it's as scary as FNAF 4 to me, but this one is definitely up there when it comes to, you know, the fear factor. My only real complaint with the minigames is there's too many like sit and survive minigames, which, I mean, I guess it's cool playing like the original 3 games in VR, but like that many sit and survive minigames gets a little boring. The minigames are all like pretty scary. I like the original ones like Vent Repair and all the parts and service ones. So I think I'll give it a B above FNAF World. FNAF AR, I don't think I need to explain FNAF AR. We're just gonna put in F and move on to Curse of Dreadbear. Curse of Dreadbear, I haven't actually played yet because I don't own the DLC, and even if I did, it looks super duper scary. I like the minigames, even if some of them are just like reskins of previous minigames in the base game of Help Wanted 1. But for a DLC, I think it's pretty good. I think I'll just put it right next to Help Wanted 1, but a little bit worse. It's got some really cool minigames though. I'm both excited and very not excited to play it when I eventually get around to that, because it does look very scary, but the minigames look pretty cool, so I'll give it a B. All right, now we got our second S, and I'm gonna put this above Situation Custom Night. I love Security Breach for what it is. I'm not one of those people who loves it because it's fun to break, even though it is pretty fun to break. I just love Security Breach for what it is. I love the open world aspects. The lore is like the only thing I don't really like because it doesn't make sense yet. Once that gets clarification, I'm sure it's gonna make a lot more sense and it's gonna make me like the game even more. But I just love, like with Security Breach, you can tell that in every inch of the Pizzaplex, Steel Wool put like a ton of effort into making it be like very visually appeasing, and I don't know, I just like how open the world is and how everything looks and how different it is from any other FNAF game up to that point. I don't know, I just really love Security Breach. It's not my favorite, we'll get to my favorite, but it's definitely up there. I just really like Security Breach. Okay, I don't know why Pop Goes Arcade and my Pop Goes are on this. I'm not gonna rank them because A, I haven't played either of them, and B, they're not FNAF games. Okay, Ruin, I think I'm gonna give, I'll sandwich it in between FNAF 2 and FNAF 4. I like Ruin, it's definitely a lot scarier than Security Breach. It's a little annoying to 100% because it's very focused on like a set path, and it's just a very linear game compared to Security Breach, and that's like my only complaint because it makes 100%ing a little annoying, and just like the open worldness of Security Breach is kind of taken away, which I understand why. It definitely made the game a lot less buggy, and they were able to like utilize different sections different ways and all that stuff. So I like Ruin. I think it's pretty good. Definitely a lot scarier than Security Breach, but not as fun to play, but still up there, definitely. Okay, now we got Help Wanted 2. This is my favorite FNAF game. I love Help Wanted 2 so much. I've played through this game so many different times. I had a blast when I was speedrunning it when it first came out. I loved 100%ing it. I loved the lore. All of the mini games are super duper fun and a lot more original than Help Wanted 1, and I just loved every second I've played of Help Wanted 2. It's so good. Definitely my favorite FNAF game. And then finally, we got the newest game, Into the Pit. Into the Pit, I'm gonna put below Security Breach in S. I really liked Into the Pit, just because it was a lot different from other FNAF games. I think the developers did a really good job. It's pretty scary. I like the open worldness. I like the puzzle solving aspects, even if some of the stuff you have to do is pretty vague. I still just like being able to explore everything and how like everything interacts with each other, and like how scary it is, and I just like how different it is. I just really liked Into the Pit. I had a lot of fun with it, both when I played through it normally, and it was also really fun to do sprintless, even if it was infuriating in some sections, but that's kind of how challenge runs go. So yeah, what do I want to change? I think I'm gonna move FNAF World above Help Wanted 1 and Dreadbear, just because I've had more fun playing it. And other than that, I think I'm gonna move Dislocation into A. I think I'll keep it below FNAF 4. I don't know, Dislocation is like a very hit or miss game. Either I really enjoy my time with it, and it's like one of my favorite FNAF games, or I'm just like, I don't feel like finishing all of it, because it does have some annoying aspects, like the private room is a little annoying. I think I'll put it in A though. Yeah, I think I'll call it there. This is my FNAF tier list. Yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. The videos are gonna pick up again soon, I hope. It's just been a little difficult to record because I've been busy and our kitchen's getting renovated and it's super loud, so it's a little difficult to record at times. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.